Today we're working on a 07 Cadillac Escalade steering sensor, and the original OEM part number 158867336 pin has been discontinued and you can't get it any longer. So they have cross-referenced it to the AC Delco number 194184003, which is an 8-pin, which will still work for the 6-pin. So here's the 6-pin, and here's the new AC Delco 8-pin. So before you start, go ahead and disconnect the positive, disconnect the negative, and then we'll start taking it apart to put it in. Not that hard. First you want to start by making sure your wheels are straight, making sure your steering wheel is straight, and then I used Gorilla Tape to tape around and tape up front, because after you remove the column you don't want it to spin, because then you'll be replacing the clock spring and anything else that you have to be fixed inside that's going to throw off the settings. And so first thing you want to do, go ahead and take this panel off. I've already did some of it. Then this panel will have a bolt there, 7mm bolt there, and then a bolt to hold on your parking brake. And this panel comes straight off like that. Just set them to the side. Then onward to your brace, which is going to have 4 10mm there, 4 10mm there. As you can see, we've already removed those there. And just got this one more right here. Just remove this one last 10mm here. Pull that off. This comes out. It won't come straight out, so you have to put it at an angle. Bring that baby right out of there. Put it in your pile of parts. And then onward. Come down. And you will disconnect your shifting right here. You just take a flathead right here, pops out right here like that, push it down. Then that will also have a harness here that you just unclip. It'll be right here. That's what it looks like. Unclip it here. And then you come over to your airbag. Your airbag line will come down from here all the way down to here, and then you pull the orange clip out of it and go ahead and disconnect it there. Feed it back up. You also got your shift linkage that you want to pull the. You're going to have a clip here holding the linkage in. You just put a flathead under this clip, pull the clip back, and the shift linkage right here goes in that. It'll pop right out of this hole just like that. You just put that off to the side. Then onward to your steering sensor, which steering sensor plugs here. You just press down and pull back. It's showing it has 8 pins, but as you can see, there's only 6 pins in the hole. So these 2 we won't use, which it'll still fit the aftermarket plug. Then we will unplug your main harness. Oh, I don't know if you can see the main harness back here, but we'll try. It's going to be the blue and white one. Let's see here. You just pull back the latch. Push that latch forward. Takes a little bit. Push that latch forward and pull back. And that'll be this one. And you have a green one. The green one will be plugged up into the side here. And pull the green one. Looks like this. Okay, and then you'll have most of your harness hanging here. Just like that. And then you'll be ready for your bolts in the top. Once your bolts in the top will be 15 millimeter. There are your 15 millimeters. There'll be 4 of them. One here. One behind the shift linkage, which is here. And then you will have 2 inside at the end. But you want to, I usually save those 2 until I do the shaft that goes into the firewall, which is going to be right under here, which is kind of a pain to get to. You can see the shaft is right up there, and that is usually, let's see, I think that's usually the bolt goes through that. I think that one may be a 13. Let's see. Alright, let's see if you can see that way up in there. You see that right here? Let's see, that may not be a 13. Maybe something else, maybe more of like a 15. Possibly. That may be the magic 15. Alright, let's see. Does magic 15 fit in there? It does not want to let me on there, does it? If not, we'll just have to get a... Okay, see, your wrench obviously won't fit because you have your steering wheel taped into place. So, we will have to go ahead and get a smaller socket. Go ahead and get a smaller socket. And be right back. Alright, so next you want to go ahead and take that bolt out from the shaft. And then slide the, I don't know if you can see it, but it's got a screw with a little tab attached to it. I'm going to go ahead and slide it out. It's got this and a 15 on the side. Now we're ready to pull it. Oh wait, we got to take out our other 14 millimeter, 2 14 millimeter nuts, 15 millimeter nuts in the back. So we're going to get our extension ready. Our socket and get our air ratchet and zip these bad boys out. Sometimes you have to find a little area that's comfortable for you to get up in there. Can you get the other one? Sometimes that can be a little pain to get to. Alright. Now. Alright, now we pull the column. Here we go. Now you pull straight out. Your steering shaft. Alright, we'll bring her over here and set her down. Okay. Okay. Next, I'm going to take out these these 3 torque bolts right here. 1, 2, 3. These will hold your plate on. Then you'll have a plate unsnap, which will be right here. This plate will just unsnap. One right here, one right here, one right here, and this will slowly go up. And you want to make sure everything is straight up and down. Your steering wheel straight, your tape still holding, everything straight in. And the yellow dot is your lineup dot, so you know if you're in the right spot if the yellow dot's in the window. So this comes straight up real easily. Just a little bit of wiggle, and it'll come straight up. And then that's the OEM. And then we'll put on the AC Delco. Aftermarket part, which aftermarket 194-18403. Pull the pin, make sure you're ready and all lined up. Slide down, flip in, pull your pin. You never want to pull this pin until you got it centered, because it'll spin, throw off the setting. Okay, and then everything backwards. Protective plate. And then your little Torx bolts. And there. One here. Everything should really go smoothly as long as you keep everything taped up and where it don't spin, and as long as it don't spin, you should be just fine. Everything will go right back in reverse order. If you got air tools, probably go a little bit faster. If not, go a little bit longer. Make sure nothing spins, pick it up, and we're ready to restab. Okay. Wire harness. Shed a little light in there for you. Grab the harness. Pick it up. Slide her down in there real slowly. Before you slide down in there, you're going to have your shift linkage. And you want to wrap your shift linkage in your spring so it goes down, up, just like so. So as you slide your column down, you just pull your shift linkage right up beside it. A little bit each time. Make sure you ain't stretching your wire harness or crushing your wire harness. Go ahead and stuff all your wires down in there with it. Usually, I like to start a few bolts. Maybe start a few of them 14 or them 15 millimeter bolts. If you ain't got somebody to hold it, you just kind of spin up your 15 millimeter bolt to hold it there in place to where you can work on it. Make sure all your wiring's good. Let's see. Okay. Your shaft will come in. Can you see through there? Oop. Alright, so your shaft, this is the fun part, getting the shaft back into the hole. You see the, let me move that there. You see the tab A and the slot B? So we can usually just see there's a hole here and a hole here. You just pull this back in. Well, looks like we're kind of sitting a little low. I think we're sitting low a little bit, so we'll have to push the rear end up a little bit. Okay, so we'll have to, I'll go ahead and bring you out there for a minute so we can push the back end up and maybe put one of the bolts in the rear. There we go. Put one of these in. That way you don't have to have nobody holding it for you. And now this should just slide right back up in there like butter. Sometimes you gotta put a bow in here like so. This is the pain part, just getting this line back up. And it's harder if you only got one person. Rock her a little bit and she'll go right in. Okay? Remember, your bolt with the tab goes from the passenger side. Just like this, from the passenger side in, and it sets with the tab at the bottom. See the tab? Okay. And we'll get our nut. Put it on the other side. Tighten it down. We'll come back to that. Don't forget that's loose. So, connect our wiring. So remember, the big harness goes in the back. Don't want to forget any of the wire harnesses. You got the big gray one. Remember the gray one just pushes in. Just like so. Clip down. Okay, and then your green one. Green one goes right in here to your module. No problem. Okay. Then your shifter comes in at an angle and then back up. Clips right in. And that's where the slider peg comes in. Got two little slots. Slide your peg right in, like so. And then your shift linkage. No problem. Then comes your plug for your, just right into the back. Everything should go in real smoothly. The way you took it out, the way you put it in. That one. And then finally your steering sensor. Okay, remember, our sensor was a 6-pin. This new one's an 8-pin, but it won't use the last 2 pins. So, right in. From a 6 to an 8. Okay, airbag. Take that down to the airbag hole. Plug it into the airbag. There should be a little orange tab that we're missing that will lock the airbag into place. Right there. Take the tab, make sure you get your tab back in because it'll hold your wire harness right. Just like so. Stuff your airbag line back up in there. Okay, double check all your wires, make sure you got all your wiring good. Everything looks good, nothing's in a bind. Alright, everything looks great. Now we start. The back 15 bolts will have a washer with them. One bolt or one nut, one washer. Just go right up in here. Start them in. Okay. The other nut go right up in here. Okay, when you set this up in there, you want to make sure you're not pinching any of your wires. Pinch some wires, you'll have a big problem. Go back down to the axle like we remembered earlier today. Take a 15, go ahead and tighten her up. Put a little bit of muscle into it. Tighten her up. Okay. Then we get our air ready to button up our 15 millimeter bolts that are up in our nut. All right. Let's find the other. Go ahead and tighten up the rears. Let's see here. Let's see. Remember, these are like in a weird spot. You kind of like got to maneuver it a little bit. Tighten up. Oh. Jumping around on them. Make sure. Okay, that one's tight. On to the next one. Okay, that one's tight. And I like to go back and make sure my other ones are tight, just in case. Don't take no chances. That's your steering. Alright. Go back to our 10 millimeter on our ratchet. Let's see, 10 millimeter. Probably right here. Okay. And you got 1, 2, 3, 4 10 millimeter bolts that hold on your bracket. Remember, you can't get this straight in, so you have to take it in at an angle. Kind of work that baby in a little bit before you have it sitting perfect. Okay, well that might be, hopefully that's, get your 10 millimeter bolts set up. Go ahead and tighten them bad boys up. Okay. Onto your main panel. With our panel, we have some other stuff wired in. So we have a ground and a power, which our ground should be up in there somewhere. These are our two power. We should have a ground wire with a little hoop. Let's see. Oh, we did have a little red ground. Anyway, we got a few other things wired into ours that, like aftermarket lights. Your panel would go up, then your other panel would go up, and then you peel your tape, and then you're done.